Hello, everyone. It is us. Well, it is the amazing Elysia, and Jeff from PTS for Life has joined us.
Finally.
Right?
I'm late.
You know, you're to a very important date.
Just on time, though. Just on time.
Right? Because there's so many jokes I can make right now. Like, there's part of me that wants to put, hold on. Let me see if I can do this. Just because I think it'd be hilarious. Hold on. Right? There's so many jokes I can make right now. Like, there's part of me. That was me. Okay. There we go.
It's a PTS sandwich?
Pretty much.
Nice.
You know.
See, it's always about the sandwich.
Little charcuterie board.
I like that. SP charcuterie board.
Yeah.
Charcuterie. I just have to remember the only person that I can say that word correctly to is you.
Oh.
That's it. Because you say it first, charcuterie. Otherwise, I'm charcuterie.
Just say charcuterie board. That's okay too. We don't judge.
But that's
education was not our highest achievement. Okay.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend saying that at a dinner party though. When there is charcuterie around, I'm like, ooh, charcuterie board. Yeah, would not recommend that.
I mean, it might be funny to see what people's reaction is though.
It was not as good as you think it was.
The inner teenager in me is like, do it. It's a fun prank. Just do it. Just do it.
Nice. So what we're going to talk about today is Elysia and myself and the Oh No Miss Nora are going to be going down, I believe, with Liz Gale as well. But Liz is also doing a lot of, the best way I can explain it, she's doing errands, helping support her in getting there as quickly as possible. So I don't know when her exact date is, but I know if you still have the link to donate to Liz Gale, please definitely do so. You know, I never thought that this tide would be turning. And that's the best way I can explain this is we're sitting here on YouTube explaining to you what's going on and what happened. And all it took was a couple of TikTokers.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
who had major balls to go do that with their
right?
Right?
Like he never gave up. He literally sat there and the streets of LA, he sat there and went through, like, if someone told me that, you know, because my biological son has also passed away. If someone had told me that I was not a good mother because of that, and in that situation, I promise I probably would have laid someone out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he has a lot of restraint, I will say.
Yeah.
That.
Yeah.
Like,
and that's a good thing. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. Because now it's like he's even stronger than before. Just like, you know, a lot of us, you know, we're you know, I sit here every day and I tell people, you know, please, if you are in any way feeling mental health, please reach out. You know, I am also clean and sober. So at the same time, you know, we do fall to drugs, unfortunately. And so if anybody ever needs anything, definitely reach out to anybody. But at the same time, because that's how I am, that doesn't mean that's how you are, Jeff. And it doesn't mean that's how E is. So it's the combination of all of our different strengths that seems to be with the TikTokers making a difference.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, that's the hardest thing that I can say is that it's, oh, we got a nice little comment because they already saw it. Who's bringing the fake Navy to this one? I think Lara might have one and Serge might have one. So that way, in case ours don't travel, because mine is on his date, you know, rubbing, you know, Groot's back.
Sounds pretty out 2D if you ask me.
Yeah, well, he is very out 2D. So at the same time, I always want to let him know.
Well, this Davy here, who the star of Little Davy, he actually has been stealing Tom's girlfriend. She's not there right now, but she was earlier. I'm not sure if Tom knows this or not. You want to talk about being out 2D?
He might be throwing some little baby hands at that, you know? I don't know.
Yeah.
might not be very happy about that. I guess people are going to have to start, what do they try out to be his girlfriend or whatever?
They audition. I know
There we
that
go.
they audition a lot of girls. Like they'll go through, before they hit the celebrities, they want to hit all of the young full Scientologists, the believers. And I'm waiting for someone to be like 17, 18 years old. I'm just waiting for that day.
Ooh, let's hope that does not happen for the 17 or 18-year-olds.
Tom's old.
Yeah, but think about it. Everyone,
Not to
he's
offend
never,
anybody, but
Yeah,
he's not
is
young.
older.
Katie divorced him when she was 33. He divorced Nicole at 33. He has some issue with 33.
Yeah. Hey, Marilyn.
3 devices.
Right?
Aw.
Marilyn Cold
Wow.
Coffee and
We
Crafts.
love our Marilyn.
Yeah, we love you.
Watching
Marilyn.
the 3 devices. Love you all. Get them second gens unite. That's right. Because
Mhm.
honestly, that's what we can do. And
Yep.
I was trying to think of a good way to explain. Like, okay, so Streets is doing this every day, but the idea that the doors are closed. In your opinion, whether it's Jeff, Elysia, both of you, in your opinion, do they ever close doors at any Scientology center that you've ever been aware of?
During the anonymous protests, they did. Certainly. I would say, I'd be really interested to know how many people actually went into that test center. It's just as a matter of interest, because I just don't, other than people joking around and wasting Scientology's time, how many people does that actually bring in a year or even a decade, right? I bet you it's pretty low. I
Right.
think it's just a building to do it for a tax write-off and to house the L. Ron Hubbard Museum, because that's where the L. Ron Hubbard exhibit is as well. And then obviously they use the upper floors for all the whatever Scientology does up there, tracking us.
Right. So here's
Yep.
a question that just popped up. So Matt Elliott, MAA, SPDV Canada, question, how have you guys been liking AA Ron's downtown in Clearwater? I love it.
Yeah.
I like it a lot. And I used to live there. So for me, I'm just like, oh gosh, who are you going to run into?
Right?
It is very quiet, though. It is very quiet.
I like that he has the power.
Well, yeah, to be fair, AA Ron's got OT15 SP powers.
Yeah.
Because
Right? It's like he's He-Man. He's walking around as
he's
He-Man.
the big boogeyman. I will say
Power
that.
of Grayskull.
everybody just disappears immediately.
It's amazing, isn't it? It's just like, ooh, like the worst weather ever.
I look forward to doing that at my local org soon as well.
Mm.
Yeah, I thought about trying to gather some people up and try it at the Sacramento org, but then I was like, not that many people go. And to be honest, there's only like 6 rich people, rich people that go to that facility because they're the ones that bought the new building.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm fully aware and all that stuff, and they live near me. I'm like, yay.
I just don't think they're doing very much. I don't think they're doing as much as they used to. I think their heyday was probably late 80s, early 90s, and they had more movie stars and it was easier to say, look at us here. I think there's too many. I think the internet they cannot compete with.
Yeah, I don't think they can.
YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. I just don't think they can really compete, and I don't think they know what to do.
And that's a good thing for me.
Yeah.
Because, and I remember in All Day, and yes, they still use telex and all that good stuff. But it's basically like, they're not up to a lot of the electronical standards. Because I know when I came out, flip phones were better. I still had a briefcase phone when I went in there. Okay, everybody, I had a briefcase phone. And you come out and that thing had to be charged. It only held a charge for like 3 hours, everybody. I go in, and then when I come out, there's this amazing thing called color screens and Snake Game. And
Texting but with the numbers.
Texting, instead of using T9, you could actually text. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
And then I got to find out who the president was. That was even better because I didn't know who the president was at all.
Wow.
So it's
wild. That's so wild. Like what a bubble you're in when you're fully in there.
Well, when we were kids, think about it. I got to watch a cartoon like on special occasions when I was visiting my family, and then my Nana gave me a TV. And I was in lower conditions for like a month as a kid. It felt like forever because I got caught watching cartoons.
No outside influences over here, huh?
It was He-Man and Thundercats. Those were the only two cartoons that I cared about in the 80s.
I mean, Thundercats. My husband still talks about that. He watched much more cartoons than I did. So.
Well, I got in trouble when I was like 6 or 7, I think I was, for falling out. I was stealing cherries out of a cherry tree that was on someone's property, and I fell out of it, and I hurt my wrist. Obviously, as you do, falling out.
Did you pull it in?
Well, I did pull it in, and I actually had to go do a men's project so I could pay this person back like $5. And this was
for the
like
cherries you ate.
Yeah, well, that I stole because I was a little thief stealing cherries. Yeah, I mean that's how I grew up, so I'm sure you guys can.
That's kind of wild because cherries don't even cost that much. I get the trying to teach a lesson, but I mean,
well, that's what it was, right?
How
many lessons? I mean, for me personally, I think that's why I love the protest idea and the idea that these doors are closing. I think that's why it means so much to me, because when I was a kid, I scrubbed so many 10 by 10 squares and if it wasn't clean enough, you got another 10 by 10 square to scrub. Cleaning a dumpster with a toothbrush, thinking as a little kid, I'm like, oh, it's not going to take much time at all. And then maggots touch you. No, I'm good. I can't do maggots. Like I will cry. I will vomit like instantly. I can't do maggots at all.
Okay. So maggots are off the list, guys. On the
maggots are definitely
no maggots.
No. I'm going to have to get you something else for next Christmas.
Damn.
I will feed them right. If my lizards can eat them, I will feed them all to my lizards. Like, here you go. Because it was horrible for us. I know Lara went to the Cadet Academy really, really young. And I used to say that's where, those kids were safe, if that makes sense. Everybody else was safe. And I had my own issues. And it turns out they had the same bloody issues. And then it was all covered up by Scientology. There's so many times that my mom should have lost custody of me. My father should have been forced to be a dad. But now at the idea that these doors could be potentially closing.
Yeah. Even if it's just for a day or a weekend, it's still something. And for me, I grew up in LA. So for me, I'm even more like, kind of in shock because it's like, oh, it's happening like in what was, my old hometown out in LA. So it's really amazing. And it does show you the power of people protesting and doing it. I don't want to say the right way, but like protesting effectively, I guess I'll say, like with a goal and, doing it by not breaking any laws, obviously, because don't want to give them any reason. Yeah.
Don't break laws.
Yeah, and don't fall for the bull baiting because all it is just going to be public bull baiting from them because that's how they react and interact with people that they don't agree with because you're either with them or you're against them. Like there's not a gray area with them.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I relearned that lesson just recently, actually yesterday, and I'll be doing a video on it probably tomorrow in regards to communicating to my local org. So some good stuff came out of that conversation. I also learned some stuff about an ideal org in the States there. So, and how terrible it's doing. It's so good when I hear that kind of stuff and to see this stuff happening down in LA where arguably it's the most important aspect or area of Scientology for getting new people in, because certainly there's nothing happening in Clearwater, because that's
No.
not for public, like not new public, I should say.
I would
Yeah,
say
it's
it's not
for
yeah,
upper
it's like
levels.
older people that have been in there that probably might not get out. That's
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's like their retirement plan for Scientology, is to like get there and move there and be there.
Yeah.
But the more
exactly.
that Aaron goes out there, the least they are going to be, at least I think less and less people are going to show up, because if they think Aaron's going to be there, then they're just not going to go to course. So in effect, he's doing what he needs to do to make sure that, hey, you know what? You guys may not know this, but we're saving your soul.
Yeah. Well, exactly. And I think it's great. I think it should happen at every single org across the world. You know, like, one dream of mine that I would love to see again is to see the anonymous protest numbers happening, not necessarily with the masks and that same ethos, because I think that was
No,
important
I
then, but
want to
it's not
show
right
my
now.
face.
But I think it just goes to show you how powerless Scientology is now. Not only do they not have the manpower to stop everybody, they don't have the technology.
That was technology, yeah.
You know, like, they're
kind of stuck. They're kind of stuck in the past. And I will say, I lived in Clearwater when Anonymous was protesting, and I drove by it, and it was wild. I loved it. I was in the back seat. My mom was driving, and I was like, "I hate Scientology, so do I." But I didn't know. But I didn't know why, and I was like, kind of a little bit nervous, but excited, like in the back seat, just like looking out. And I saw the signs, and it was like like Scientology tears families apart, and I was like, well, okay, because like I didn't like it, but at that time I didn't really know what being disconnected was. I didn't learn about that until I was a lot older, because I rejected Scientology so much. So I didn't read their stuff, because I said, this is all shit. And so my mom was like, well, if you don't want to do it, then I can't force you to do it, because that was her version of Scientology, which got me out of doing a lot. But it was very interesting to see these people like standing all in the street and just signs everywhere. And it was good. I don't know. I thought it was really impactful. And I remember that as like a 16-year-old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was 20-some years ago. So that was good.
Absolutely.
We're going to have a special guest that's going to hop on in like a few minutes, just FYI.
I mean, I wasn't the special guest.
You are too. We have two, apparently. I didn't even know you were a possibility.
I was a last second
You
thing.
were bingo card that we didn't see coming.
You were the bingo. You were the card that we needed, because we need an extra, we need an extra opinion. We need like honest, because for us, it's like we're going to go down as a family. So it's like, for those of us that have bonded, and, I can't wait to tell Lara the date. She's on a live right now. But I can't wait to go down there and do this as a family. For those of us that all have our own unique story, they are very similar, but they're all unique at the same time.
Oh, yeah.
And there's no judgment. Like, I don't judge anyone else that didn't get abused. Like, I think that's a miracle that you didn't get abused. Like, fantastic.
Yeah.
Are you there on Friday?
Huh?
Are you going to be there on Friday?
I can't. I've got funerals and celebrations of life that are coming up. So our plan, as soon as the additional guest arrives, are we just gonna, since Aaron's saying exact dates he's going down, you want to tell him the exact date or no?
Tentatively. You want to do tentative, like end of?
Tentative.
Because we don't, again, it's very, it's all
so
we're trying to make it work.
Yes, we're trying to make it work. And by putting it out, it makes it a little bit cheaper. As we all know that we are all fundraising for, whether you can donate to Liz Gale, or if you have anything to help get her down there, because she's a lot further. Well, no, I guess you're the furthest, huh?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Canada.
Me, yeah.
That's a big trip.
Yeah, it's
actually not. I mean, I'm in the West Coast, so it's like I'm just outside Washington, essentially.
Oh,
okay. I was thinking you're on the other side, like you're literally like by Maine.
I'm on the West Coast, so I'm smart. I'm on this side of the mountains. Everything on that side is so much colder and snowier.
Oh, yeah. I know we don't get snow here, but we got some sleet and some flurries, and we lost our shit today because we don't get cold like this. So
Whereabouts
we're
are you?
excited. Texas, so we
Texas.
don't
Okay.
get that. Yeah,
Are
we're
you
usually
excited for your Austin org?
no.
All right, here we go, everybody, and the surprise of the evening.
A little drum roll, please.
Big drum roll.
Heyo!
Nora.
Oh my, Nora, you're tootie flowing me.
Oh, hey, late, but she came with the cans.
She
There's
brought the
only
jugs to
There's
the
only
party.
one person who gets to squeeze these cans.
Oh,
Heyo!
Oh, Jeff, I'm sorry. That went in a whole different direction than
I'm
I thought
sorry,
we were going
Jeff.
to
Hey,
go.
I'm
We
open. I'm open.
We get
It's all
Liz
good.
and I together. It's all bets are off.
It's all jokes.
I'm a little invigorated, so
because she's
it's
back on.
always
She's
bad.
not only is she showing the cans, she's back on the can.
Uh-oh,
So
hot dog.
we didn't know if we were going to talk about like specific dates or anything like that, but
Yeah.
the plan, I guess we leave it up to you. The plan is to go. God dang it! Hold on. Oh yeah, never mind. No, don't hold for me.
What are you doing? What buttons are you pushing? Liz, stop having weird tabs open.
Ooh.
Right?
My 15-year-old
Liz.
freshman in high school told me, and this is a real thing. Okay, talk about a hot dog. One of his teachers was caught looking at Vladimir Putin gay foot fetish porn. Like what? How
That's very niche.
How
Very, very niche.
specific is that? Like, also, don't do that on your school computer during school time. So,
Yeah, they have ways to look and to see what you're doing.
right. It's a work
right.
It's monitored, guys.
It is monitored. And here's the kicker, though. I did find out from someone telling me about my dad that he would look up porn on Mark Headley's computer.
Right, to try and get him busted, right?
I don't know if he was trying to get him busted or what he was trying to do, but he gets to look at porn and then Mark gets to go to the RPF because you can't do that.
No.
Like, were you intentionally trying to mess with your friend? Like, did you have beef?
Jeff, let me ask you a question. You were on staff or the Sea Org in Canada?
Okay, yeah, great question. Staff at my class 5 org.
Okay.
I joined the Sea Org 2 times, but never actually completed the EPF.
Oh,
I smartened up.
that's good. Yeah, so you're probably too smart.
I don't know. You did the EPF twice.
Yeah, I was recruited when I was 14 for the Sea Org down in LA. And I was trafficked across. I was actually kidnapped and trafficked.
Yep.
Because I did not have parental permission to do it.
Right.
And yeah, ended up coming back up to Canada to get actual permission, and then went back down there, and I went PTS, and my solution for leaving the Sea Org, my barter system was, if I can leave the Sea Org now, I'll go join staff at my local org. And they agreed to it.
You were like, I can't do the billionaires, but I'll do like 2.5.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
Okay.
I can do like a car loan. I can't do.
It's a bit of a commitment, not billionaires.
Right?
That's a little overwhelming.
That was, and the worst part is when you sign that billionaire contract, you're like, okay, yeah, of course, I'm going to give you the next billion years of my life because they really fucking exist.
Well, because you feel like at that point they've convinced you that you've lived a gajillion zillion years. So what's a billion? I feel like my baseball cap is looking like a chef's cap, and it's upsetting me. I can
tell it's baseball.
I know.
I can tell by the logo. It's got a logo for baseball.
There.
Oh God.
There we go.
I thought we were not going to discuss who you were fans with.
Listen, there isn't any gayer team than this team, Liz, and so I'm very disappointed in you.
I'm Yankees all the way.
I know. That's another discussion, is our sports stuff. And I still love you. We're still friends. And you can be a Jeter fan, and that's fine.
It's more of a Ruth fan.
He was on the Red Sox originally. So.
Yeah, and then he got traded in the stupidest trade ever. Then how long did it take the Red Sox to go back for a pennant?
And then they did. And the Yankees are the dirtiest team in baseball, and they make all their players shave their face and have a uniform and have a uniform haircut. Sound familiar? Sound a
Oh,
little
it's a
culty?
cult.
It's
A little,
It is
a
the
little close
dirty.
to home.
It is the
joke
coldest
is
team
dirty.
in baseball. They have to all have a clean face. They all cannot have their hair below their earlobes. Okay. They all have to have a certain appearance, Liz. Sounding familiar?
yeah.
Sounding
I remember
familiar?
how much trouble I got in when I cut my hair very short, when it was hotter than balls, and I had really thick long hair.
And thank you, Peter Anderson. And San Francisco has 3 World Series in the past 20 years, and the Yankees have how many? How many? Zero.
Now, is
Zero?
this football we're
Is there?
talking about, or
No, this is the
Baseball.
baseballs.
I'm just
This is the
bugging you?
baseballs.
I'm just bugging you.
Oh, I thought he was about to pull a girly girl and be
American
like, "No, we're
sports.
talking
Yes.
about cheerleading."
I'm taking my kids to a hockey game here
Yeah.
in Oregon with our minor league hockey team, the Blackhawks. So it's exciting. I'm excited.
Chicago. Yeah.
No, not Chicago.
I know.
In Oregon. Yeah, our
Yeah.
minor. This is
I
like
just like
off
saying Chicago
He's
because-
Broadway.
Yeah.
because there was a pretty big game that we lost in Vancouver against Chicago.
Oh,
And the second one is a bit more derogatory name that we call them, but I'll start with Chicago.
I'm excited to go to hockey because I'm hot all the time. So I'm excited to like be in an ice rink.
Yeah, I'm
It's
down.
a lot
I'm down
colder
for some
than you
hockey.
think, right?
Yeah.
I'm down. If since my love is like occupied right now, I would play hockey right now. Like, my body may not like me.
Girl, we are too old for that shit. We'll get out on the ice. Listen, I'm outside working right now, and my weather app today said
Show the
23
boobies.
feels like 11. Like it was legit. Like I had a balaclava, a beanie, multiple layers.
You were bundled
I was
up.
bundled,
to the
and I had to
nines.
buy different boots because my boots were not
Mhm.
adequate. So yeah,
Those boots weren't made for walking.
They were not made for working or
steel
walking.
toes are not for that. I have a good friend that's in Vancouver. I don't want to out her right now. I don't think she's not speaking out, but we'll talk after, Jeff, to
Yeah,
see if
let
you're
me
in
know who it
contact
is.
with her. Yeah, for sure.
Is
Because
she like originally from Vancouver?
yeah.
Or?
Oh yeah. She was in the Sjorg though. Down here in the internationals levels, and I was on the RPF with her, and now she is in the Vancouvers, and she and her husband own a bike shop there, if that gives you any
Private
details.
message me that right now.
Yeah, I will.
Okay, well,
No,
while
like
you're
right- no,
private
like right
messaging
on
each
the-
other,
right
let
on
me.
Private
let me-
message.
He needs to know. He cannot
This is
wait.
important information for me.
Yeah,
Right, I
because
do
if
wanna
you
get this
if you
one.
get in like let's get more. I'm always for like let's connect more people together.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Because the more of us that are talking, like I sent we have like our own group chat, and we try to meme it up every day because I'm Gen Xer. And I think I sent a little snippet of something today where they were talking about scientifically why women live longer than men. And and they were talking about like fight or flight. And I thought this was really like pertinent to us X's, right? Because we had to study the Black Panther mechanism. And if you ever looked that up in the tech dictionary, you saw this stupid drawing of the panther and the little like cutout guy. And he's like, oh, and it's basically, L. Ron's, like his definition of fight or flight, which happens in our amygdala, which is a teeny tiny. Thank you. There it is. The Black Panther mechanism, right?
Wow.
There it is. So the back.
Jeff for the win.
Jeff for the win right there.
I keep all my good stuff right here.
He knows.
So-
it's
I've got the
handy.
tech balls right here.
And what's interesting is that because Elrond borrowed from so many things that were factual, the lies are sprinkled with so much bits of truth that when you learn the truth, when you leave, it's annoying sometimes, right? Especially that's how I feel sometimes, because then you're like, I'm rejecting that truth out of hand because it is too much like Scientology sometimes. So when I, started therapy, and my therapist was like, well, your fight or flight is like in hyperdrive. And I was like, well, what are you talking about? And she started talking to me about the fight or flight mechanism. And she used to pull out like a half brain that was like sectioned, and then just like hold it up and be like, this is your brain and this is your amygdala, and it's just like, you know. And I was like, stop showing me a brain, you know. And I don't, you know, because remember we were taught as kids, like, you're not your body, your brain is just like a fucking bag of jello in your head, and it doesn't do anything because you're a Thetan mind, which is out here in the ether, and then your body, which is just a dumpster fire of like bullshit that you don't need, right? So I was like, your brain doesn't mean anything. So, but your amygdala is like for realsies, like it evolved over time, and the fight or flight is real. We've all been in bad situations where we're like, get that blood pumping, and we're like, I gotta go, and you just like you act whatever, right? That's the fight or flight mechanism. Or you have the freeze, right? So it's fight, flight, or freeze, where you're either acting, you're running, or you're like, you know, and that can happen in a myriad of situations. But women have a fourth phenomenon in their brain, which is the nurture, gather, like tender thing, right? Which men don't have innately. So when we're upset, we gather together to discuss this confabulation, this sort of like group, like, let's the coffee clatch, the thing that, you know, we get made fun of for, right? This gathering together where we our friendship is what makes us live longer. Whereas men natively are like, I got it, I'm good, like I'll just, you know, I'll go punch a wall and my feelings.
Hey, now some of us do
Right.
punch walls.
Now,
Some of
now
us
is that
have.
why you guys? Is that why you go to the washroom in groups? Is that the same
Yes,
idea? Like, yeah?
yes. But see, except for like in places like Sardinia, which is like where the men are living into their hundreds and the men are living just as long as the women. So scientifically, they were studying that. And it's because the men there have these extensive friend groups that they get up, they go down to their little cafe, and they sit at the cafe all day and just drink their coffee and just talk with their friends. And they talk about everything. They're talking about the people walking by. They're talking about their feelings, their family. And that's the difference. And it's like, that's why things like this, like all of us getting together, even though, like, you know, sometimes it could seem like, okay, we're reliving our trauma 10 bajillion times or whatever. But the ability to gather and help each other heal is what helps us to grow and live longer. And the cult wants to prevent us from doing that. They want us to all look at each other as enemies, as other, as bad, as damaged, and all of these things. And it's just a neat way to kind of like crush us, you know? And so the more we do our innate human thing of like caring for each other, the more we're actually healing ourselves and like giving ourselves longevity, which is like crazy, just like being part of a group, you know, that isn't just our tiny little
And guess
thing.
what? None of us look at each other like freaks because we
Right.
we all have very similar stories.
Yeah.
And we all remember the dynamics of life.
Oh, yes. And look at you cashing in, Jeff. Thank you, Laura.
Oh yes, Laura's been very kind to me lately. She has such an amazing picture for her her avatar.
Her avatar is really good. Yeah.
Is that, it looks like a grown-up Merida from.
Yeah, I was gonna say from the
Brave.
the bear,
from Brave, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna just assume that she's a ginger and we just stick together. So
Yeah, that's what
Oh,
it's
yeah.
your
Just
own
stick
little
together.
niche community.
yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Yeah. See,
All right.
longevity right there.
So when are you headed down there, Nora, Liz,
Ladies,
ladies?
We're trying to get out there at the end of February.
Yes.
Okay.
what are
If
you
everything
thinking, Jeff?
works out.
I can't discuss that publicly right now.
Top secret.
Top
Ooh.
secret.
Top secret information.
Josh,
I mean, like
Speaking
let's
of
put it
Mike
this way,
Myers.
guys. If we gathered enough funds
Yeah.
to get on a plane, because I looked at plane prices for this weekend and it is outrageous.
yeah.
You know, to go when you're not pre-planning anything, planes are stupid. When you can plan
Correct.
ahead, planes are a cheaper chicken. and as our hotels and other things. So, you know, it's obviously better to pre-plan, but also we want to make the most impact, you know.
Correct.
But I think that personally, everyone I think was like, oh, I don't know, is it still going to be happening? Fuck yeah, it's still going to be
Yes.
happening.
And even
Because,
if we have to start a new one, we'll start a new one that day.
well, this is the thing, is that this has never, and I do mean Liz, we worked at Celebrity Center, okay?
Mhm.
How many times did we have protesters outside of Celebrity Center?
I'm going to go with twice that I know of.
Right. 2 times. And one time during those protests, our security chief, James Richardson, dressed up in a Ku Klux Klan outfit, went across the street, because they weren't even on our property, guys. They were across the street in front of La Poubelle and in front of what's the restaurant that Danny Masterson went to? The other one, was it La Poubelle?
I think
Yeah,
it was
La
that one.
Poubelle is,
Yeah.
is
La
the restaurant.
Poubelle and all those other restaurants across the street. He dressed up in his Ku Klux Klan, like Grand Wizard outfit with the hood, with the mask, everything.
Who just has that laying around? That's just my question.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I don't know where he got it
They
from.
come up with the most
Thank you.
idiotic things.
He went over there and just started like holding a sign and like repeating what they were saying, and they were like, where did you come from? And he's like, oh no, I'm with you guys. Yeah. No Scientology. Oh yeah. And then he was like doing the Heil Hitler thing and all this. Oh man, he took it to a level. And then he bragged about all this because they dispersed really quickly. So then he bragged about this at staff meeting. Like, he is the most confronter of SPs on the planet. Like, bro, you showed up in a Ku Klux Klan outfit. Of course they are running. They do not want to be associated.
No,
sir.
No, they
Sir,
all
you
remember
are
Los
a
Angeles
piece of
a few
shit.
years ago.
And that's why all
shit.
these bomb threats and bullshit. Remember and I said this in the chats, but nobody responded because TikTok chats just are like,
they're wild. Like, yeah, they go
I
quick.
said it in the TikTok chats. There's been 2 bomb threats now on these TikTokers, and as Liz will remember, when I came back, were you part of the Golden Age of Tech stuff, Jeff, at your org?
OG, yeah.
The OG one.
Yeah, 96. I was
Jeff, Jeff, we know each other then. I trained at Flag with you.
I wasn't at Flag.
You didn't train at Flag?
No. So I was on the EPF at the time, and I was working at Hemet at Gold, unloading like film studio stuff, and then cutting the lamination off of the new binders and stuff for 3 days straight without
you were
sleeping
preparing the materials.
and not eating.
Then you worked with my ex-husband.
Could be.
Jeremy
is that worse or is that better? We're just gonna go with,
That was so long
Nora.
ago.
Do you remember Jeremy Krushko? Like a really short, kind of dirty blonde-haired guy, kind of very.
I have very few memories of that time.
He was like the menial
now that I
officer,
have you here, I was on the EPF with this person named Alexandra Parker, and I always kind of wonder whether she got out.
Alexandra Parker? I know her.
Okay. Yeah.
She was an actress.
No.
Not that one? Not the girl that got married to Gavin?
At the time.
No. Okay. Different
person.
She was
from Washington, I think. Washington, D.C. So anyway, it doesn't matter.
I feel like I know her, though. It'll come back to me.
Yeah, you seem to remember everyone. I remember the people that impacted me the most.
It'll come back to me. But so Liz will remember, though, like within, I want to say less than a month of us coming back in 96 in May, we started getting almost daily, if not weekly, bomb threats at Celebrity Center. And it was crazy. Like, people would have to come out of the Purif and stand on the lawn and like in the robes. It was nuts. Like, people coming out of their sessions. We would all come out, line up like it was like as if there was a fire in the building or something. The police were bringing bomb sniffing dogs into the thing. It was like for real. Like, people were freaking out. So we had like manned up this huge extra, anybody who wasn't on a vital post was then put into security, right? So dishwashers, the crew steward, who, by the way, was a guy who went to Flag for training and got rejected because was cuckoo and cuckoo. And then he got busted out of Celebrity Center down to the Manor to be the crew steward, because that's what happens. He got traded for somebody else, whatever. So That guy is now in what's called Castle, where it's like that scene in the Matrix where you can see all the screens to see now they have even more cameras. It's nuts, but you could see all the cameras they had at the time. And so that was his job, like watching all the cameras, just like, and he used to like walkie people to come bug us if we were like, off post or like bullshit. Like he went on a total power trip. Anyway, so after like, I want to say the 6th or 7th time we got a bomb threat, finally the LAPD and the FBI were like, you guys get your shit together. The call's coming from inside the house. One of the calls they traced directly to Castle, and the other call they traced was to the Gelsons across the street. And so then security, and then James and Jason Mayfield were like, we're going to handle this. We'll figure it out. So then they did like they basically set this guy up on a thing, and they caught him. He ran away to Arizona to some house he had, and was like fully armed. They went to go get him, and he basically told them like, I'm gonna like murder you and then myself if you don't get the F off my property right now. So then they came back and were like, that guy never worked here. And then we just never talked about him again.
Yeah, like most people, it was suddenly like they were vanished.
Like this guy literally called in like 7 or 8 fake bomb threats and then threatened to murder 2 people. And then it was like, oh, just kidding. He never worked here. Like that was how they, and I think they paid him a sum of money as well, because we were on beans and rice for like several weeks after that. And anytime somebody got a big refund or something, we would be on beans and rice, of course, because that's where the money would come out of.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like, yeah, it's just like totally insane. So when I saw these bomb threats coming in, my first thought, Jason Mayfield's not in security anymore. He got busted out for some shit, and now he's in tech, listing himself as Leah Remini's family friend. Oh, there we go. Yeah. And that was great timing on that.
I wish mine did that, but it doesn't.
Are you on a PC, not a Mac?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's just the Mac reactions.
It's just because I'm Canadian.
It's just because you're Canadian.
Well, let me get the super chat out of the way real quick.
It doesn't surprise me that James Richardson is resorting to these old tactics to try and fuck up the TikTokers. Anyway, that was a long story to say that. Anyway, go ahead.
Jen Nelson, love this crew, needed this today. Absolutely. I think we all did. Where did it go? Okay. And I just left it up there. Just wanted it to be sexy.
Who put you in charge of technology? There we go.
Yeah. I love the names, and it works really well for you today, Nora.
Polly boobies.
Love you and support you during this fight against SOS. Every time I see SOS, it's so hard to be like, or COS.
Yeah, COS, yeah.
Then I think of, SOS.
Mm. Hand in hand, huh?
Change on sale.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. COS is less offensive to me than like, and also it's less letters than writing out like.
It's easier to type out.
Even cult.
Yeah, I don't tend to use the word cult that much. I tend to use the word organization because it denotes that it's a business. It's not offensive, and it doesn't give any credence to the thought or possibility that it's a church.
Yeah.
Right. Right. That's a good point. I saw another. That's a good point, Jeff. I saw another TikToker saying that too, something like that. That it was a business. That it's not.
Yeah. Well, that's all it is.
And it is. I mean. And we can all, I'm trying to find the name for you because I have like part of the person's name, Jeff. I'm scrolling through all my messages to pull it up, but I'll grab it for you and then send it to you. The thing about it is that like the things that we've talked about, we always talk about our personal stories of what has happened. But the thing that people sometimes don't talk about that I love, that especially Streets is talking about all the time and things like that, is like follow the money. Right. And so all of us having, Elysia saw it from the public side of like trying to come in there and like how much they were asking her for money and like demanding money of her. But it's like what a lot of people don't talk about is this real estate sham shell game that they're doing, like I'm sure you saw as a Vancouver staff member, where they do this, let's fundraise for a new org. They get all of the public, the parishioners to donate for that building.
And then
But they've
And
already
those-
purchased the building. The building's paid for in full. It doesn't have a mortgage on it. They've paid cash for that, for building A, right? We'll just do a demo. We'll do a demo, right?
No
But
claims.
I'm out.
they've bought this building, but they're doing a fundraiser from the parishioners, right? So they get this bank of money from the parishioners, and they say it's to buy this building, but they already bought it. It's paid for. So then they get all this money and they sock it away in their own accounts. Okay. It goes into the international landlord account. Then they're like, guys, this building is a shambles. It's gross. It is not
La cucaracha.
It's not upset. So now, guys, second fundraiser. We gotta get it renoed. Renovation fundraiser. They get that money, and guess who does the renos? Their slave labor force, aka the Sea Org,
kids.
and the RPF and the children and the child labor force. So that building then gets renovated. Then the ultimate in the money laundering scheme is the staff that are then inside that org, all the people that come into work every month, they now have to pay a mortgage over to the landlord on a building that's been paid for 3 times.
Yeah, it's insane.
And it's never paid off. And all that money goes to the International Landlord's Office so they can keep buying up this real estate to just shell game their money around forever. It's the same thing when
That's
you're tithing for like the gold films that are now digital that you're paying to rent from gold. What am I renting?
You're renting a chance to see someone you know.
I'm renting.
Well, you're licensing it essentially. I think they probably use the word license, which, to be fair, in an industry, a business industry, for movies and so forth, like movie theaters and whatever, that's how it works. You pay amount, you get to have it a certain amount of time, and if you don't keep paying it, you don't get it anymore because you're making money on it. But with Scientology,
but you're required to buy the films, and then you still have to pay rent on them. It's like it's like the building.
Yeah, exactly. Luckily in Vancouver, it's just a shitty org that with no public. They've been fundraising for over 20 years now, whenever it started, and they still don't have the building. I don't think it's been purchased. They probably have money. I mean, to be fair, though, they've probably spent that money on other things already. Because that's what happens
so
too.
many other
And
things.
Scientologists don't know this. There's no way to account as a public for how much has come in. So they'll raise, let's say, just a number of $1 million for a building, and then some emergency will come up where that money is needed, and it'll get sucked out. But the public don't know that.
No.
Yeah.
So then they just keep fundraising. So it's like a sieve, the money comes in and just goes floating out. But you can't ever account for it as a public, right? You just go by this word that, we need more money.
Well, how many times as a public, Elysia, did they ever say to you, like, there's, like when you see like your local YMCA or something, and they've got like the thermometer thing, the fundraising thermometer, or your school for your kids, the fundraising thermometer for like
how much you have to go. So I'll say this: they never asked me for money, but I was never doing stuff. I never considered myself a Scientologist. My parents were, and they donated a lot. We went to the little IAS thing in England way back when, and
they were fancy.
Yeah, like it was super. You got to be snoity-toity.
I did not want to go, for the record. I was in high school, and I was like, can I just stay home so I can go to school? I would like to be in school.
Did they make you go to England, to East Grinstead?
Oh, I was made to go because it's a family thing. You're supposed to look at us. We're a happy family. We're donating. We're doing Scientology. And so, looking at those
And
pictures
your
now,
daughter didn't believe it all.
I didn't like it. I didn't believe. I was pretty rebellious. So I was like, do you really want me to go? Because it's not going to be a good thing to show off to your friends. I'm like,
how many times did you stand up during that event? What year was that? What year was that?
That would have been 2003 or 4. because it was right before I graduated, so 2003 or 4.
Wow.
And I was not excited about it.
Yeah,
But we
I
went.
wouldn't have been either. I was not
But we
excited
went.
when they did them.
Yeah.
You didn't like the event? That was great because we got off post early.
Well,
Well,
no,
I
I
wasn't-
have 2 things as to why. And yes, and they are tax-free. Yes, they are. 2 reasons
Yeah.
why I didn't like the events when I was a kid. One, we got shuttled into this shit area and got like a tray of snacks. but for,
Charcuterie
like
shit.
50 people. So
Charcuterie
if
board.
the
Charcuterie
charcuterie board. And then if you made it to the end, like let's say that you just started shoving your way through, you might get to grab a strawberry. You might.
Maybe.
Otherwise, you're eating paper. You
Mhm.
get to imagine what it was like.
Or water. They were like,
Yeah,
"There's
they did
water."
hand you a lot of water or CalMag. If you suddenly said you needed a CalMag, it's like someone had it in a flask.
Who else used to go and spit out their vitamins in the bathroom? I can't be the only kid.
Oh
Did
my
you go
God.
with a handful? Did you go on? I couldn't. I can't.
I did the Purif when I was 15. And before that, I had never really taken vitamins or anything. And so to take these, like, just a shit ton of vitamins, ones that were like,
They're big.
depository size. Like, this
Mhm.
is for a horse. You expect me to swallow this?
Right?
I mean, I had to actually cut them up into like thirds and quarters.
Mhm. I
just
did
so
too.
I could get them down. But then they're like, they have these sharp
Then you
edges.
taste it more, yes, because it starts
and then
peeling in.
the lecithin. Oh
Man,
the
that because if
oil?
you didn't drink it right away, it got like gelatinous. Yeah.
It's so
Yeah.
gross. And
I
then
still have a bad
CalMag,
gag
I couldn't
reflex.
drink
I
it.
couldn't get away with that, guys. I did the Purif the first time when I was like 13 and my mom was my twin. So
Oh.
that bitch is like,
Do it.
drink that fucking CalMag. Like,
So
I'm like,
No,
okay,
my mom was
drinking it.
during the Purif when my mom was doing the Purif, she wanted me to do it partially with her, but I wasn't technically old enough because I was 5. I literally.
Yeah, you were not old. No, you were not old enough.
I'm
Not
laughing.
technically.
I was not old enough, but I
you
would
were
be
not.
sitting in there with
Liz,
her.
how many 5-year-olds do we know that did the Purif at CC? Let's be honest.
That's sad.
Really?
That's sad.
Be
I know
honest.
2,
5
3.
year
Yes. Yes. We know. Yeah. Guys, people will stick their 5-year-old in a sauna for 8 hours. It's fine.
And then don't forget, you have to work out afterwards.
Yeah, you
I
gotta
wanna see
run,
you run.
treadmill. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
We
for
got to
the
run
5-year-old.
first.
Activate that niacin in that 5-year-old
Mhm.
because they have things to sweat out. They have
Right?
dirty things in their body.
I was
Oh,
unpure.
gosh.
I was.
Five?
Someone did ask. I think it's on Jeff's channel. Because I don't want to miss it. Someone asked what CalMag was.
Oh,
Here it is. What is CalMag? Sounds like an ulcer medication. To be completely honest, it will give you an ulcer. No, it's vinegar and
not
calcium.
vinegar. It's apple cider vinegar specifically.
Oh, apple cider vinegar.
That's what she
but-
mixed with. Yeah.
Well, that's important though.
Yeah, it's the apple cider vinegar plus calcium and magnesium mixed together.
Yeah, and it has to be in a certain ratio, and it has
and
to
you
be,
drink it. It's a
Chug it.
drink.
Just chug it.
And it's
Yeah.
and let me tell you, it's so bad. I have thrown this up so many times in the kitchen sink when they're like, "This drink, this." Be like,
And if things,
yeah,
if it's not
reflex.
done perfectly, like it's the calcium and magnesium doesn't like dissolve enough.
Work
It's
to-
like
yeah.
gritty and just bitter. Because I
Yeah.
don't know if you've ever
Oh.
just had calcium and magnesium, just like the powder. It's not sweet or anything. It's just gross and bitter. And I think the apple cider, the vinegar itself, like is a catalyst to activate it, whatever happens. And then anyway, it's not yummy. Some people love it.
It's what
I still like
nightmares
it.
are
Like
made.
I still drink it now. Like I've got some ready in my fridge because
Oh my God.
I will still
Wait.
drink it. Now on the other
CalMag
hand,
Cider vinegar, just one or the other, or both.
an actual CalMag, like the
Mhm.
CalMag
Like-
drink.
You
LRH's.
make it yourself, or you
I
get
have the
like
powder.
the calm. You have the
No, I get calm.
powder.
I get
That's-
calm.
You have the
Have I
calm
made it from
powder.
scratch?
different.
Yes.
That's
But
not
my
the
mom
same.
lost her recipe. She
Oh
lost
my
her minister's
God.
handbook.
Oh
She was
no.
so angry.
God.
And because
Did you
she
lose
missed
it
her,
for her, or did she lose it?
technically,
Liz?
yes. But it wasn't intentionally. I thought I was being smart. I grabbed a book off her shelf because Bam had pooped in the like on the ground and I needed to pick it up really quickly. And so I used the book to scoop it up. And it was that book.
So you got rid of her recipe
Girl.
book and you made that a whole new recipe of shit and then threw it away.
Literally.
Oh, well, that's a
Shit
good
on
way to
that
go out.
recipe.
That's some shady ass.
I didn't do it intentionally. Like, it's not like I went, ooh,
Whatever.
Mystics Handbook.
I
That's
didn't.
shit.
Liz, it's a
intentionally.
smidge bit degraded, my friend. And I'm
It
here
was very not nice of me, but let's be real. She still has an award that she thinks is like the coolest thing ever because it's one of the LRH Com Awards where they have engraved LRH's signature, and it's her pride and joy. She loves that thing.
Oh.
Yeah, I can't wait till she passes, and I'm gonna burn it.
Wow, Liz, this is getting dark.
It's
Yeah.
okay. I burned one of my little courses that I started as a kid after my mom passed because I found it in her stuff.
Oh my
Jeff,
When
do you
I
have
was
to
in
go?
elementary school, and I was like, "Why would you keep this? I never finished it." I was bribed to do it. I wanted my ears pierced really bad, and I couldn't get them done unless I did that. And I was like, "I'm gonna do it. Fine, I'll do it." So I got bribed to just do it. Learning how to, I think it was like learning how to learn or children's course something. So that's how I started it, and I never finished it, but I got my ears pierced. So who's winning now? I got my ears pierced.
Right?
But I never finished it, and my mom kept it. I guess maybe she thought, maybe one day she'll, maybe one day she'll come
One
back.
day.
One day we'll change our
Elementary
mind.
school.
My mom used to, get me the upgraded version of the PTSSP course all the time.
Oh,
Maybe
I mean,
this one will work.
Yeah, maybe this one will work. You were gonna say something, Jeff?
Yeah, but I forgot what it was. So,
You were going to say something earlier too
I
about
know.
the
I've always
actor.
got something
The
to say.
actor.
Nora. So I just got a message from my friend Gabe, Escaping the Cultiverse A, who's in the chat here, and she wants me to ask you about Mr. Captain Petite.
Oh, Mr. Dave Pettit.
Yes, Pettit. I would say.
Okay, can I go first?
Yeah. Do they have a
I've met
specific
him.
question?
No.
About-
I just think
Oh.
that she said it'd make you laugh. So
Mr. Petite?
yeah, or Pettit, whatever you want. I've met him.
I mean, he
before.
pronounces it Pettit. You are correct if he was going by the French pronunciation. Oh, it's been a long day, guys. The French pronunciation, it would be Petit. But he's so American. He's from Anaheim.
Oh, okay.
He likes pizza with his pexi. And he
Got the
likes to
world's
tell
smallest
everybody
shorts.
that his babysitter when he was a kid was Tinkerbell, and that's his biggest accomplishment outside of being the commanding officer of Celebrity Center.
There you go.
Yes, he also used to. The big thing for me is, so we had a smoking section. Okay,
Oh,
it was in the little hallway, or not
No,
hallway, but it
boo
was
to that. Boo to that.
So there was a dumpster,
Random.
and then a basketball hoop,
Rating.
Snowstorm.
and so we had this horrible
Nora's
thing.
going through it.
I would be sitting out there in the morning, and I'd be smoking just to get a couple drags in, and then all of a sudden he would come in his flamboyant yellow or pink shorts.
And they were like
just
short,
itty bitty.
guys.
Like at any moment he could sneeze and his wiener and testicles were gonna pop out. Like that's the type of shorts. And you're like, whoa, I just saw your nuts and twig and berries.
Is that now?
When he had a
2D?
Volkswagen that he loved. That was
I got to
was
drive
his
that.
sexy pride
He had a
joy.
little Volkswagen like Vanagon, and it was like one of the like camper ones. And one time it was at this like weird ass mechanic that was like his mechanic that was in the middle of nowhere out in Orange County. And because I was one of like 3 staff members that could drive stick, he was like, okay, Nora, you can drive my Vanagon back. So somebody drove me out to the middle of nowhere to pick up his Volkswagen van, and I drove it back for him because it had gotten fixed. And I was like so nervous driving back the commanding officer's van. But like, I mean, he's just like the gayest guy, the most closeted gay guy in the entire world.
Yeah.
Like I'm pretty sure he makes me look straight. If that'd be the best way that I could explain it.
Well, he and Renee Duzak, who's probably the biggest butch in the entire universe. I know, don't get Liz started. But come on, Liz. Is she not the most dominatrix butch that has ever butched?
Fuck no. Sorry if that was loud to everybody's ears. I'm just
Are
letting
you
you know.
joking me?
She was not a dominatrix.
Leather suit on that woman
I will
and
vomit.
like gave her a whip and chains. That is her native state. Come on now.
Native state.
Oh,
Be
her
honest. She always wore like a short pixie cut. Like,
yes,
just her hairs were like
even at AOLA when I was a kid.
Down, like her hair just like sat down. It never was like, if you've cut your hair too short and it's just like foof, and you're like, oh, that's bad. Her hair just was like so submissive. It just laid there.
Like her soul. It just laid down. And but first of all, that lady has had the same fucking haircut since I was a child, and she was working at AOLA with my mom. So why was I taken directly into the Celebrity Center, the super area? Renee Duzak personally grabbed me because she remembered me and my mom. Yeah, I remember that woman. I will never forget that woman.
She's the thing of nightmares. She accused me of being gay for like since this. But it was rude then. It was
horrible,
very upsetting.
Horrible. If you didn't realize it, then she can't realize it either. Like, listen, there are rules to this.
My first car knew I was gay before I joined the Sea Org. The license plate was 1DYK 800. And I didn't even notice that until I had the car for a year. Like, okay, the universe knew I was gay and I was in the closet. Okay.
It's okay. You just had to figure it out. It's all right.
I really had a lot of figuring out to do. So many daddy issues, so many problems.
I still have daddy issues. I have mommy issues. Let's be realistic. I get like people say, the fact that her and my relationship is ending in 3 months has me so bloody excited. It's like counting down the days till my birthday.
Where is she going?
She has the option of moving into a senior facility.
Oh, she's doing it. Okay, you're getting her out.
She's got no option. We're
she has the option of like you're packing her shit.
Ultimatum.
Okay.
Yeah, because when I've been paying for some place that I don't live, and now we don't have that luxury. I can't help anymore. I literally can't. So I told her she has 3 months and that's it. And then we're snipping the ties because I just can't do it.
There you go. Good for you.
Cutting the umbilical cord.
Good for you.
That, and I can't take her her constant Scientology works. They're just applying the wrong tech.
So Nora,
it's hard.
Yes.
I private messaged you there, but
I saw that.
I know that person.
I'll find the shop. Yeah.
I grew up with her. My sister and her were very good friends. Yeah. It's so funny.
I think I would love for her to speak out. She has an incredible story.
Yeah.
And I love her very much. She helped me a lot on my journey out, and she was very supportive. I love her as a human being. She was incredible to me on the RPF as a human being, just because as you know her, she's an incredible human being.
Yeah.
She's just graceful and kind, and I'm glad she's not doing Scientology anymore.
Right.
But I never speak out of turn. Like when somebody's ready to say whatever they want to say or not say anything, or because as we all know, this is a lot. Like I've taken breaks, I've stepped back, I've not, I admire the shit out of Aaron for putting out like 100 bajillion videos or however many fucking videos he does a day. I can't. That's just it's another life. It's amazing to me, the content that he creates and stuff. I think it's really fantastic. For me, in my own mental health journey, it's different. And that's the thing about it is like we all experienced very similar things that are like you can run a through line through it. And then each of us, like a snowflake, have like a completely different journey. Like even though Liz and I are the gay, and we experience things because of our gayness in Scientology, what happened to us was actually completely different. and we were at the same organization. That's what
Mhm.
makes it crazy. So like everybody goes through something totally different. And now they're just declaring gay people, which is why when people were like, what happened to Sebastian? Where'd he go? I was like, that bitch is out. Like they kicked his ass out and he's getting deported back to his country, which is a good thing for him. He doesn't think it's a good thing now. He's devastated. He's crushed mentally. And he's thinking he's an actual suppressive person. He's going through a lot, for him. But as we know, getting out of Scientology and getting away from it, going to be fantastic. And once he gets reconnected with his family in his home country, he's going to go through a lot of shit and then he's going to heal. He's going to have time away
Yeah,
from
it's
it.
going to take a little bit of time, but he will eventually wake up and realize that
Yeah.
this was the best thing to ever happen to him.
Oh yeah. But it's
Because,
not going to
you
be
get food.
overnight. He's not going to like start posting on TikTok like, I'm so glad those guys got me like kicked out of there. Like it may never happen.
Process. Yeah.
It's a total process.
I don't think most people want to admit
he might
that they were, fooled or conned into something. I think that's why a lot of the older people will just stay in there until they pass away.
Yeah.
I don't think they can handle,
Well, they also don't believe anything other than Scientology because they're so insulated. I mean, like the people that we worked with, I'm convinced have to be in, and I don't know if they have anything like this set up in like Canada, which they must, is like people like that were my direct senior, like Wendy Poulin, who was she was originally the director of training, the DFT. Mm-hmm. And then she got promoted into the exec. What was her post in Div 7, Liz? She got promoted to something right under the CO for tech. I can't remember. It was some fancy pants post. Anyway, she was running like all the golden age of tech stuff and doing like all these tech things, but it was like her direct report was the CO. She was like above the supercargo and all this other stuff. Right?
Okay.
And she's got to be in her 70s now or her late 60s. And, I mean, she was always pretty healthy, but when people get that old, they're at that, the old fogey home for people who can't, work a full day and they're not looking as, posh and like all this other stuff. And we can't put them in the basement because they can't type enough letters out,
We can't put them outside digging ditches because they'll be seen.
Or if they have physical conditions that they're not going to send them to the doctor all the time, we'll just put them in there. Like Catherine Spallino's parents who now have like severe medical conditions who are located there. It's just sad to me that it's like, that's where people like that are going to go die. Like a lot of those people, are good people.
Yeah.
That we worked with, that we know.
And they do think they're doing something really good and they've dedicated their life.
Yeah. Like
that's why watching the protest in live, like in real time is really amazing.
It's amazing.
Yeah. I can't wait to be there.
Something.
Like, and everybody has it right. Like, please don't go if you plan on being, attacking or if you plan on doing anything stupid. That's just idiotic because they're looking for us to make a mistake, and that mistake that can get someone arrested, get, charges brought against them. They're looking for anything. So please don't give it to them. The trick is just be like, as simple as it is, we can literally be like, hey, did you know that, Bob Ferris has been in the cult for 50 years and they told me he was dead? Oh my goodness, I am so suppressive because of my homosexuality-ness.
Yeah. I mean, what
just kill him with
organization
kindness.
lies about that? That's a really, really weird, strange, not okay thing to lie about.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Like if you're going to lie to me, tell me that he got married again. Tell me that he, I don't know, boarded a fucking rocket ship and is hanging out with, celebrities. I don't care. But the idea that, in my 20s, I get told that he's dead. I want to know how many, unfortunately, I do know how many other people that their families were told that they were dead. Like it's not uncommon for them to do. And that's disgusting. And that just needs to continue to be, reiterated. And
I just put up so this picture here, speaking of gay people in Scientology,
great
if
for
you
me to
want to
pop it
share
up.
that screen there, this is a gay couple. I think, Tampa org. They went, so Scientology,
This is
knowing that,
2018, right?
yeah, for sure. But there's newer stuff that I have from this same people. Well, there's a picture of, I think it's this guy here, outside flag, having
Mhm.
completed a student hat.
Mm-hmm.
And so this was just on a Facebook page. And he's like, "Oh, I'm so excited for this, blah blah blah." And then the comments underneath it, there he was saying, "Oh, my partner, my 2D and I are doing this." And then the comments are like, "Where's your partner?" It's like right here. But like the Scientologists just could not wrap their head around it. And then the response was, "Oh." It's just amazing, right? But
They're trying so hard to pretend that they are gay friendly.
yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
I know.
Because behind closed doors, those two men are being talked about horribly in the dorms. I can promise you that.
Well, also, it's not even that. They're being counseled constantly to change. They're being shown science survival. They're being shown Dianetics. And if they do make it to clear, okay, they will never go OT because you can't technically make it to clear because L. Ron does say, a cleared cannibal is a cleared cannibal, right? So technically, even disgusting 1-1 gay people could potentially make it to the state of clear, right? They could achieve knowing that they had created their own reactive mind. Oh, hot dog, I said the clear cognition. Uh-oh, I just gave you guys clear for free. All right.
There you go.
Now I'm just as suppressive as Dave Kennett's daughter, Elysia, who fed the clear cognition to paying PCs at Celebrity Center who were charged thousands of dollars. And because she wanted to keep her stats going up, she told people that so that they could say it and regurgitate it in a paid session and then get declared clear when they weren't. And did she go to the RPF? Did she get put in the Scientology concentration slave labor camp? Oh, no,
of course not.
No. Did she get declared a suppressive person? Because technically that is a suppressive act. Did she get a ComEv? Probably not. You know what happened to her? Guys, are you ready for this? Come real close. She got put on call-in.
Is there more? Or is that it?
No, that's it. She got demoted to the call-in. Call-in.
That's horrible.
She got put in that little closety room right over on the second floor by the course room to do call-in. So her job was to call people into the org to get services. This bitch committed one of the highest crimes in all of Scientology. I kissed a girl with no tongue, and I was put in the labor camp for 3 years. This woman told multiple people what I just shouted on YouTube. Paying Scientologists inside the Church of Scientology, that's basically like a hangable offense.
Mm-hmm.
And
that is definitely over the board or overboard.
And she's still considered a great Scientologist. I don't want to be considered anything to do with Scientology. However, if she and I were in a lineup and all of the people that we collectively knew who were still Scientologists, and they were asked a singular question, who do you trust more? She would be picked over me by those Scientologists, even though she's an actual Scientology criminal.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense.
It's absolutely insane.
Now, when I was a kid...
3 years, Nora? 3 years.
Yeah, almost 3 years on the RPF.
So when I was a kid, there was a huge flap at AOLA. We'll just call it that way. So not only did CMO find out that Ivan Obolinski was falsifying his stats, when it was found out that he was falsifying his stats, he packed up his room and blew.
Yep.
And then once he packed up his room and blew, they were still offering him just to come back and go back to his post and he did not get the RPF. If he just came back, he would
Yeah.
be fine. They would skip it all. And so what happened? He said no. But for some reason, all of the LRH comms and the PAC base then got sent to the RPF.
Yep.
Every single last one of them.
Because Ivan was so loved. None of these things make any sense. Like when my dad passed away, he was co-auditing the FPRD as an OT with his partner. Okay, which is a no-no. But they made an exception for my dad because he was cute and very charming. And he didn't have money. So whatever. He was also auditing several AOLA and other PAC staff members who were all executives. Also super no-no because he was a public. But in the 70s, my dad was declared Kakan by Elron and was also the highest grossing field auditor of all time, where he did like 500 or 1,000 hours in 1 week or some bullshit because he stayed up all night every day for a week auditing like truckers and like weird shit that people were just up at weird hours. Like, yeah, because my dad's a criminal. Anyway, moving on. So my dad was in the middle of this FPRD co-audit and dies. Okay. There's a massive heart attack, dies. He wasn't a healthy person, whole thing. The amount of people that went to the RPF because of my father was enormous. So when I arrived to the RPF and like a few people overheard my name, they were like, I'm sorry, your name is what? And so I had to repeat my name. And then they were like, are you Constantine's daughter? And I was like, yeah, did you know my dad? They're like, stay away from me. Like it was bad. It was bad. Like those people had been sent because of my dad. And then I had to like be in very close quarters with them for years. Like imagine just staring at like
Slightly
the
awkward.
daughter of the person that you're there for. Like that's not, it is a Scientology word, like we're stimulating you every day.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little awkward.
It's awful. It was bad. I mean, none of it is good. None of it.
No, it's not. But Renee Duzak did that a lot to me. Oh, you remember when you got in trouble from security? Hey,
When you were a kid.
Remember when you were climbing up the trees outside of AOLA and you climbed into your mom's window? Yeah, I do remember that.
Andrew just wanted to say hi.
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 I had bad timing, I think.
No, it was great.
No, it was
time.
perfect timing. It was perfect timing. Absolutely perfect.
Jeff,
I was
is
thinking of your sandwich from earlier, which is the part of the live that I watched. I'm like the never in side on the side of the
that's
sandwich.
what I was going to ask. So you were never in Scientology, right?
No,
Good
I'd
for
barely
you.
heard of it before
So
Jeff told
all
me
of our spouses were never in.
Never
So
end. We have
that's-
all realized that the never ends is the way to go for the soulmate
Yeah, apparently.
And so
because
thank
they
you.
need to not have our past.
We
Thank you
need
for
someone to
taking
have
good
some
care of
sanity,
Jeff.
so that works. That
Yeah.
works. Helps
So
that
that way when we're crying, they're
I did the mistake of marrying another ex, and not because he's a terrible person. He wasn't. It just also I'm gay. That didn't work out for many reasons. But it's a big clash. It's hard because you're just you can't escape a lot of things that you need to escape. And my wife is fantastic, but yeah, having somebody she has to tell me all the time, that's not a real word. That's not, we don't say, the real world doesn't say. I said to my son the other day, because he was having a hard time understanding something, I said, you have to understand the estimation of effort. And my wife is like, that's not, I'd never heard of that. I'm like,
I hate
that's
that
probably, I know. I said, I'm sorry. It is probably a Scientology thing, but it was a great way to explain to him how he misestimated what he tried. It was bedtime and he got the new clear case for his Wii, and he decided to take the old case off and try and put the new case on. Like, this is a massive assembly project right when he's supposed to be going to bed. And then he got a screw, like he stripped it and it's in there, but it's stripped now. And then he tried for an hour to get the screw out. And I can hear like him wrestling because the the penthouse, the room where the boys are, is above me. So I'm hearing this weird like rustling noise. So finally it's like almost midnight. I go up there. I'm like, what are you doing? And he's like, I messed up. And I was like, I thought he said he threw up. And I was like, you threw up? What happened? And he's like, no, I screwed up. And he's just up there with like just shit all over his bed, screws and stuff all over his desk. I'm like, what is going on? He's like, and I'm like, okay, just give me the thing. He's like, now you're not going to sleep. And I'm like, I'm already not sleeping. Just go to bed. You know, like, so I just like went over it with him and I said estimation of effort. And he's like, I don't know what that means. And so I like explained it to him. He's like, okay. But then my wife's like, that's not, if that works, maybe Scientology is good for that. I don't know, but like.
Okay. Here's one for you since you're a parent. Everyone's here's a parent. Everyone here.
No, they're not. They got a dog. You got a dog, right?
You got fluff butts.
Okay, we're gonna.
Yeah, he acts like a child most of the time.
We're gonna count it.
That's true.
We're gonna count it. Okay. Why is it that I truly desperately need to have completed cycles of actions when kids start stuff?
It'll never happen. Don't try to refresh.
I'm just like, what do you mean you're not going to build your desk that's laying on the floor for 3 days? Like, it's okay. I'll help you build it. Let me help. I will build it for you. Let's just complete this cycle of action.
Could I call you around to get into the closet, a cycle of action, and hold you to that?
No. I don't need to complete cycles of actions. I can throw my laundry on the floor and leave it there. And I'm okay with it.
No, I'm going with Scientology on this. I'm going to demand cycles of laundry action.
Don't you understand the estimation of effort it is to put that away?
She's got it. As long as
it shouldn't be a problem.
No, I mean it's so hard to let some of this stuff go. I mean, it is so, but some of it is useful. Like my daughter for a hot second was like, well, I'm going to go to Annapolis and I want to join the Navy. And I was like, oh, okay. And my wife started having like a real panic attack. Like she was like, and I was like, oh no, I'm totally for it. Let's do it. And she was like, why would you do that to me? Like she was like, honestly going to start a fight. I was like, oh no, babe, I got this. And she's like, okay. So like the next morning at like 5 o'clock in the morning, I went in there with like an air horn, like, and she's like, what? And I was like, oh, let's go. It's 5 a.m. It's like, snap and pop. I was like, this room is atrocious. I'm going to white glove this whole place. And she's like,
okay, white glove too. I was like,
she's like, what are you talking about? I was like, you want to be in the Navy, honey? I got you. I'm going to get my white gloves out. I'm going to white glove look at all this shit. Where's your hospital corners? What's going on here? Let's get some push-ups. Let's go. Okay.
Carrie puts the sheets on upside down.
Within a week. That was over. I was like, you're done.
I feel like
she can't get up within like 20 minutes. It takes her 30 minutes just to get out of bed and open her eyes. Like, she would be great. So
I don't know what this.
And I have respect for our military people out there and anyone in the chat who's a veteran, an actual veteran, not one of stolen valor like Liz and I. Yeah, I have huge respect. I come from a long line of military people in my family. But if you've got the gumption and the gusto to do that, my tip of the cap to you.
I wish I'd done that instead.
Yeah, me too. Could have worn the real Navy uniform. That would have been A-okay with me.
I would have rather gone Marine Corps, but that's all right.
Well, you are a jarhead, so.
Hoorah! You get to read this one, Nora. And yes, we're going to talk about my wife and her bed making
the geriatric Chihuahua. I love this, and I want to meet them. I talked about Maslow's hierarchy of needs in a chat, and everyone said, huh? That's how we feel. I'm also saying, huh? Pick you. Go. Please go.
So
explain. Tell me.
Jeff's got a graphic, but it's in terms of you need to have lower level needs met before you can move to the next level up. So your physiological needs need to be taken care of the things you need to live. And then you can focus on safety and security. And then you can go beyond to my emotional well-being. So if you don't have those basic ones met, you cannot go higher in the hierarchy.
There's a graphic, Liz, if you want to throw it up on the screen there.
Yeah, put that up. So it's like the oxygen mask theory kind of thing, but like more. Right? You have to put the oxygen mask on yourself before you can like assist somebody else. But this is in like levels of needs though, right?
Yeah. So you're not going to be able to go really far into helping your mental health if you can't eat.
Right. Yeah, you have to eat first. You have
Totally.
to sustain yourself
Totally.
and then sleep and have a place to live. And yeah.
This is
Interesting.
fantastic. Oh my gosh.
This is actually
I'm
how
gonna
I
put this
how
up.
I
I want to put a poster
view
of this
and
up
focus
for my
people.
kids.
Mhm.
And it's got a good color
Can I
scheme.
flip the
doesn't it?
triangle the other way? And
Yes.
that way
I like it.
works with all. Oh, I already have that tattooed on me, but the triangle's upside down.
I think
I-
you have to go, Andrea. You're off to dance class, so
Yes.
just
Have
wanted
fun
to
at dance
come and
class.
say hi.
Have fun
Have
with
fun.
that. That's amazing. What kind of dance
And
do you do?
thanks for answering the question
No
too.
problem. Nice to meet you all.
Nice to
You
meet
as
you.
well.
What kind of dance do you do, Andrea?
I'm going to tap classes.
Oh,
That's amazing.
That's cool.
I did tap like almost 40 years ago. But yeah, Gregory Hines and all those guys and Sammy Davis Jr. Did you ever see the movie Tap?
No.
Okay, if you've never seen, you've got to see the movie Tap. This movie will blow your, just the tap dancing in the movie. Obviously, it's about tap dancing, but and there's kind of like an other like through line for the movie, but the tap dancing in this movie, there's one scene where they get like all of the vaudevillian tap dance greats, including Sammy Davis Jr., Gregory Hines, and all this stuff to do like a tap off. Blow your mind.
Awesome.
It's amazing.
Yeah, I
It was
used to
nice to
tap as a
meet
kid
you.
and then I
Junior
went
is
back
pretty-
as an adult. It's like getting a bit of your soul back. So
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Hey, that's what Pokemon is.
there you go.
Get a bit of your childhood back.
See y'all.
Have fun. It was nice to meet
Fun.
you.
Yes, Skipper the geriatric
Geriatric.
Chihuahua. Yes. This time I left my glasses and somewhere else.
Girl, you got to put your eyeballs on.
Well, I would, except for the fact that, I left them at my mom's house and I don't feel like driving back there for nothing.
Mm.
I have extra pair. Here you go.
I have extra pairs too. I just don't know where at the moment.
Well,
'cause
these
we're
are my
still cleaning.
computer glasses. These are my regular glasses. And then I have my reading glasses and my sunglasses. They're all prescription. And then, yeah, I might just have to, finally get just bifocals.
Bifocals, yep.
Maybe the universe is telling me that I'm old, but I don't feel like it. So
She doesn't want to hear it.
I
Yeah.
got
I
new
love-
eyes.
Boss of me.
I
You
got
got
new eyes
surgery?
like 12 years ago.
You got new eyes.
Did
Did
you
you
get
get the
LASIK?
laser?
Was it good?
Oh, it's amazing because I always had glasses growing up and I hated it. And then, yeah, I got it and I've been able to see pretty much perfectly ever since. Night vision's a little bit not as good as it could be, but still like safe to drive and all that.
Did you have an astigmatism or just like near or farsighted?
No, just no astigmatism as far
Okay.
as I know.
Yeah,
But it
my
was the most
astigmatism is
traumatic thing I think I've ever done.
nasty. So like doctors have been like, we can't help you.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you're
Oh.
too far gone. Yeah. my
Well, that's how I
astigmatism is
feel
off
when
the
it comes
charts.
to the bed. So
Are you gonna trash talk your wife who's standing?
I am
over
not
there
going to
ready
trash talk
pounce?
my wife. I promise I am not going to trash
What's
talk her
the problem?
because she
You
is
need
not
a
that
new
far
bed?
away. So we have a
I'm
bed,
right
obviously.
Carrie.
Can't trash talk someone that's right there. So
Mhm.
we have a bed and I go to hospital corner it. And obviously the top sheet has to be facing the other direction. So that way when you do the turnover,
No.
she cannot sleep. She will lose her mind. She will go ape shit on the
She doesn't
sheets.
like it. Stop doing it.
I can't help it. That's how
You
it's
don't
supposed to be
need
made.
you don't need it because you don't care what it feels like. She cares what it feels like. Do it the way she likes it.
Oh, I do it the way
That's
she
just
likes
a
it, but we're
lesson for a
talking
lot of
about
things.
bed. You walked right into that one, Nora.
Uh-huh.
Well, I'm gonna be
We
good.
we just got a new bed actually.
Oh,
it's
what'd you
amazing.
get? I need
Hey?
yeah. What kind of bed did you guys get?
Just the memory foam. One of those ones they get shipped in a box.
Oh,
Right? And they're
purple.
all like
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
really neat to like just watch it go. It was cool.
Oh,
But
yeah.
it's way better because I had a pretty good divot in my side, so I,
Yeah.
I actually had to roll out of the divot to get out of bed in the morning.
You're like,
Like
give me a
getting off the hill.
push.
Yeah.
No, because
That's
that's
great.
how I got one of those memory foams and it was a queen. And I was sitting there bullshitting with Carrie on the phone. And I just, took my knife and I cut all the bottom down. Not like for some reason it didn't even fathom or get me that it was going to explode. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Exploded me into
Did it
a wall.
knock you? Did it? I was
That
going
was
to say,
probably-
did it knock you?
Yeah. Baby got back, got knocked the fuck out. And then Carrie was on the phone laughing because I had literally just gotten smothered by a bloody inflatable
it.
bed.
Yeah, you
All
gotta be
because I
careful with
couldn't pay
those
attention.
things. You can't
Yeah,
just
they're
cut the
weapons.
whole thing open.
Or try to be flirting with someone on the phone and have it go.
Then
Knocked you right
she knew you were the one right then when you
Yeah,
got
she
smacked
knew
around.
I was the one when
Got the
I had such a like comedic moment where it was totally unintentional, and I'm sitting there like up against the wall, like
Yeah. Those are the
like I
best
just
moments.
those are the best moments.
Absolutely.
So is that
Oh,
one
no.
tuck and one no tuck? Is anybody here a Seinfeld fan? Does anybody know what I'm referencing?
No, what's that? What's that?
No,
Seinfeld.
say it again.
That's one tuck and one no tuck. Does anybody know? No?
No.
It's from a Seinfeld episode.
Oh, I'll have to.
It's
Oh,
the
really?
two guys, Jerry and George, and they're in a hotel room, and George goes to tell the cleaning lady, it's one tuck. On his side, he wants it tucked, and Jerry doesn't want it tucked. So it's like one tuck and one no tuck, and it's this whole thing. And she ends up tucking, and they were like, "Do we even tip her now?" And he's like, "You confused her." It's this whole thing. So every time when we're making the bed, me and my husband have to quote this. It's like one tuck, one no tuck. My husband likes
I
to go
love
under the,
Seinfeld.
and I don't. I'm
That's
like, no.
hilarious.
Well, that is not where I thought you were going when you said tuck or no tuck.
Girl, this is a PG
Well,
show.
and one tuck, one no tuck. Like that's
right? It was the no
that's
tuck that got
that's
me. I was
talent right
like, you
there.
just hang it out. Like, here we go.
Air
How you
dry.
doing?
Talk about flexibility.
Right?
All right, Skipper the geriatric chihuahua. Thank you so much for your donations tonight. I have glasses with one side shaded to cover the empty side. Oh my goodness. I gave up the patch when I gave up being a pirate.
Smart.
Or
A pirate.
You don't want people thinking you're a pirate if you're not a pirate.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. You could bring back pirate chic. You could do like a whole thing.
I also kind of feel like you could pretty much get whatever you want. Like you probably get really good service as a pirate if you just
Right.
had the patch, because you're like, what happened to this guy that he?
You
needs
don't want to
get a
know.
patch?
You probably don't want to know.
He probably has a sword. So
and he
It's
probably
the
needs to
story.
know tuck or no tuck.
Yeah.
One tuck, one no tuck. Sword,
One tuck,
no tuck.
one no tuck.
what's he gonna tuck?
Exactly.
Where
If you
we-
stick
yeah.
around, you might see.
Oh, hey Nora. By the way,
Yes.
I'm not gonna share this publicly. By the way, but do you remember back in the day when you wanted me to do a video about the poem Mike Myers?
Yes.
So I Married an Axe Murderer. Well, I did do it for you, but then he went away. So,
Oh, I'm sorry.
yeah, but I did do it, and it's really bad. So I probably won't show you, but I did it.
That's a good movie, by the way. If you guys haven't seen
But
that, it's a really funny.
If
So I Married
people
an Axe
out here
Murderer,
have
it's
not seen one
hilarious.
of my favorite movies of all time, please watch. Do yourself a favor. So I Married an Axe Murderer is a gem of a film. Mike Myers' character in this. Mike Myers plays two characters in this film. He plays the main character, but he also plays his character's father. And that character is basically the character he used to do on Saturday Night Live, who owned a shop that would be like, if it isn't Scottish, it's crap, right? And that was like, but it's an ode to his father, his own actual Scottish father, who's Canadian, because Mike Myers is Canadian. And the woman playing his mother is so brilliant. Like, I just love her so much. Their chemistry together as this like married couple is hilarious. And of course, it's like the first time that we see, oh God, now I have to look it up on IMDb. Anthony LaPaglia, I remembered it. I didn't have to look it up. Anthony LaPaglia, who plays the police detective. This movie like launched him. And then he was on like 3 different police shows as like a cop, because his like New York accent is so convincing that people are like, oh, that guy is like, he's so New York. He's so New York. So he got cast as all these New York guys. Guys, he's Australian. Anthony LaPaglia is so Australian. And then he was on a show where Anthony LaPaglia and Poppy Montgomery were both playing like New York, New Jersey, or New York and Philadelphia. They're both Australian.
Do you want to see one of the poems?
Yes.
Absolutely. Let me pop these up so that we don't forget him.
Sorry to hear that you had that the cancer there. I'm glad that you beat it though.
That's
Absolutely
amazing. Good job. 15 years ago. Holy cow. Well, good job. That's still, you know, if you're more comfortable with the shaded situation, that's awesome. I have a friend who a good friend of mine who I've known since we were kids, and I was his teacher for a bit at Scientology school, and then we were in the Sea Org together. We were on the RPF. He partially lost, like, didn't lose his whole eye, but he has to wear an eye patch a lot because had a plumbing accident on the RPF where somebody was demoing the wall from the other side, and they hit a copper pipe right into his eyeball, and so we lost the sight.
I tell you what, Scientology organizations are not good at safety. When I was down in 2012 down the Sea Org, I was at CC actually, and they wanted me. I spent my whole career working on roofs essentially, and they wanted me to go up on this roof with no fall protection.
Nope.
It was the one that was outside. It's like it's some sort of like outbuilding or something. But they wanted me to go up on that roof and do something, and I'm like, I'm not going up there without fall protection, any kind of safety, no steel toes, nothing. And they want me to do all this work, and they like I was getting in trouble for like insisting upon it. I'm like, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
Like,
hey, well, at least you knew. Most of us, like, if you know, like, hold on, where did Serge just say it?
He says, as you got to put that comment up. Yeah. I mean,
the
stuff that we did all the time. Yeah. Asbestos removal, no protection. We did that.
No protection, bare air. Like,
none. They just told us put on long sleeves. If you've got some long sleeve shirts, you're good. There was no masks, no eye protection, no hard hats, no. The one time there were harnesses that were questionable. I'll put a question mark. Was when we had to go in the like window washer dilly bobs that like went up and down.
Oh, the lifting things that.
Yeah, and we were stuccoing
a bosun's chair.
But it was bigger than a bosun's chair because it was like an actual, like it had motors. Yeah, because it had motors on it. And this is when we were redoing the stucco on the side of Big Blue. And so we would have like an actual harness that hooked onto something that was on the roof. So like if that did potentially break, we were believing
that you had something to hold you.
That
you could dangle.
But that scaffolding that was all along the side while we were painting that and stuccoing that was all put together by us. That wasn't put together by an external.
Yeah, by a trained professional.
So who knows? No. That was not safe. We were all dangling out there. We didn't have sun protection. We didn't have sunblock. We didn't have any of these. Like I got knowledge reports written on me one time because I got tan while I was working outside in the sun. Like, what am I supposed to do about that? Like, also, I'm Greek. Sorry that I get olive when I get in the sun. That's just what happens.
Did they put you in?
Greeks have two colors, guys. Either this alabaster when we are no in the sun, or we are olive. That's it. These are the choices.
Yeah. and I've gotten put in many of lower conditions. Beautiful thing called liability for getting sunburned.
Yes, of course.
I remember you told me that, Liz, and I thought, oh.
I got it a lot. And there's times that you work outside. And again, I'm white. If you see any color, it's like the little bit of the red in the cheeks. But other than that, I'm faking it with lighting around me.
And they don't care. I mean, honestly, they don't care what happens to the workers. Because as we all know, if something happens to you, why does it happen, kids? Because
your PTS.
Your PTS. You have crimes. You pulled it in. Mm-hmm. It's not because the conditions were created to make that situation happen.
All right, I put the video there. If you want to share it, we'll
do it, Liz.
Have some fun.
So much.
Nice.
So good.
That's because he's hilarious. Like it's a baby. I will never forget that.
Who else could make a movie about a guy who's a professional poet? in San Francisco and somehow affords to live on his own.
Writing that.
What? What? Yes, please, 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 guys, please watch this movie. It is a national treasure.
It is funny. It is
so funny.
That's like early 90s, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
He did this before Austin Powers, I believe,
Yeah.
or like, right. Yeah.
Yeah.
This was,
Yeah.
and this movie bombed at
Yeah.
the theater. I saw it in the theater. I loved it. Yeah. Skipper the geriatric chihuahua coming through again. Can you say OSHA? Yeah. No, they can't.
No, they can't. No, they can't. And
No.
if OSHA does show up, I can promise you, they're going to be violated for trespassing.
Well, here's the situation. No. They don't get violated for trespassing. True story from the RPF. So every once in a while, the fire department would come to inspect what we were doing, and they would come to inspect the RPF quarters. Okay. So we would get a heads up ahead of time from the popos that the fire department was going to come through and do this inspection. So they would take some beds out and put them somewhere else, so it looked like less people were living in the dorms. So on the second floor of Lebanon Hall, these are very small dorms, guys. Okay. These are rooms that, like, if you were buying a 3-bedroom house, if you're giving like the small bedroom to your youngest kid, okay, that bedroom is going to have like 8 people in it. Okay. They're going to figure out triple bunks, maybe 9 people. You're going to have 3 sets of triple bunks in that bedroom. And then you're going to have 1 set of junior high size lockers for all those people to put their stuff in. That's what's going to be in that room. Okay. They're cramming as many people as they can into these rooms. So they would disassemble the rooms temporarily, get everybody's shit out of there. So it looked like maybe, the appropriate amount of people would live in there. And then we had an illegal course room on that floor that was built off of a closet onto the roof with no building permit. So when the fire department was there, we would have to like put things under the door and tell people, like, in the practical area where everybody's supposed to be shouting each other during TRs and doing like drills and stuff, like we're quiet and like keep the lights down and keep things in the little like filter so they couldn't see that there was life beyond this other door. So it just looked like this jankety jank closet. So if they open the door, it just looked like a file room, right? It's completely insane that they somehow passed inspection, and they would keep the outside of the door locked and just be like, oh, that's just a file cabinet room. And then if they asked for access, they had like a walkie-talkie in there to tell us they're coming in so that we could like get everybody to be quiet. But they didn't. They would just be like, oh, it's a file cabinet room. They didn't ask for access. They didn't care, because the fire department doesn't care either. Because they were just like, oh, we're checking this floor. The bathrooms work. The fire, they're checking the basics. The fire extinguishers were in the right spots. Did the things work? Were they, they were just doing like a checklist. But I mean, it's like the amount of violations in just the Big Blue building alone, never mind the fact that every time we did renovations and broke those old terracotta walls, everybody got violently ill, because terracotta is a porous material and would hold all of the shit that had been coughed up and whatever, as it was a hospital in the 20s, in the 1800s.
Wow.
So everybody would get violently ill. When we made the space for the, what's the team that delivers the OT levels to the staff? I can't remember their name, but those guys.
Universe Core.
Thank you. We made the space for the Universe Core, which was across on the bottom floor there, right across from crew dining and the canteen area. That used to be in because the whole blue complex was a hospital complex. That used to be what was known in the hospital as the cobalt room, where they did early days radiation treatment. So all of us that went in there to do these renovations and break these walls down and do this stuff, we all started getting radiation burns. And we were getting sick and all this stuff. Oh, you're just PTS. You've got an SP in your life. When was the last time you spoke to your mom? You have an external influence. What were you watching TV when you went on your, walk? Did you look at, like anything other than like you're surrounded by old radiation and shit? It's like it can never be the environment that you're in is like messing things up, right?
No.
So yeah, they do not care. They do not care what they expose you to, because you're OT. When you're a Sea Org member or you're a staff member, you are OT. You can overcome any tone 40.
Make it go right.
Make
Yeah,
it go
make
right.
it go right. Like
40.
literally, the tone 40 is the big one, or they'll tell you, like when I got burned from the acetone on the wood, they told me that my mom was PTS to me, but yet they were still actively trying to recruit her. But somehow I was PTS to her. She was suppressive.
Yeah. JM Ledger says, why would Scientology be good at safety when they only blame the victim? What did you do to bring this in? Yeah. That's,
good points. Very, very
that falls
good point.
in line right with there. But here's one question.
If there's no more RPF, who's doing all the remodeling? So here's the deal. They don't have a formal RPF anymore. They're not calling it the RPF. They absolutely still have a, squared off labor force that's doing all of that. 100%. And if you go, I even saw some of them on camera from the Tiki Talkies. They still dress them in all black. It's so stupid. They haven't even changed the uniform.
Is it not I met up with my nephew who's left recently, and I think it was the EPF type B that you would go on to.
Oh, is that what they're just enforcing that now? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's good to know, because I don't foresee them ever getting rid of the slave force.
They can't afford to.
No.
They can't afford to.
Yeah, of course the EPFers are always doing that stuff all the time. Usually the EPF though is about like the general grounds keeping.
Right.
Yeah, it's State's Project Force.
Yes.
So it's literally at Celebrity Center, it was like half the group would be split in half, and half would go clean the Manor Hotel. And then the other half would clean like all of the like pavilion and like people areas.
Yeah. Right. Stacy Toms asks, don't you think they will just ship Sebastian to a COS facility in his own country? No, because his face has been on merchandise now. He has his own TikTok account, fan club. He's way too dangerous. I mean, there was a girl that we worked with, and I'm blanking on her name. She had long wavy hair. She wasn't in your office, but she was besties with the girl who became the very young LRH comm. Do you remember the young
with Tiffany?
Yes, she was besties with Tiffany, and she was also an executive, and she had wavy hair and glasses, brown, long, and she was like married. Lauren something.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
You know what I'm talking about. So
yes,
Lauren's father.
The name, yes.
Okay, so Lauren's father was friends with my dad. This is a total side story in the 70s. And the reason why my parents got together is because Lauren's dad was a Davis mission guy. And he loaned my dad his car for my dad and my mom's first date. Okay, so like Lauren and I were like connected in this weird way. So Lauren's dad left Scientology and was then like, he didn't publicly speak out, but he was just like, it's not for me. He just stopped doing it. He stopped donating. He stopped doing all these things. And so she stopped talking to him. And so he wrote a letter basically like to her, was like, hey, I miss you. And she was like, I'm done with you. I'm disconnecting. You're bad news bears. So then he wrote a letter on the internets. And this is like, I want to say late 90s, like just around 2000, like right before I went to the RPF. He wrote an open letter to his daughter on the internet that is heartbreaking and is basically like, Scientology stole my daughter. I miss her. Please come back to me. Your dad loves you. It was like, like come home to me. Daddy loves you kind of letter.
Yeah.
Because of that letter being on the internet, she was kicked out of the Sea Org. Because she was considered too dangerous to be in the Sea Org. Now, fast forward 24 years, Sebastian literally had merch with his face on it, people following him around all day, starting a hashtag Save Sebastian. Brought up, somehow the TikTok investigators found his old socials, which I'm sure the Scientology recruiters never saw. and revealed that he's probably the gay.
The gay.
And that is going to get him kicked out. Too sweet. And then, got, all the things. We haven't seen him for weeks. My guess is that's why he's being deported and sent back from whence he came as fast as possible, because he's now like danger number one. He's being sec checked a lot. He's being interrogated for hours and hours and hours to make sure that he's not going to then attack the church, and all this other shit, which is ridiculous. Like what we're doing right now is considered attacking the church by simply gathering together and telling what happened to us. All we're doing is telling stories about things that happen, and that's considered attacking them. We're not attacking, in my mind, is as if I went somewhere with a weapon to cause bodily or other harm. That would be attacking. Telling truth about what happened to me, or collectively in a group setting, that's not attacking. That's just storytelling, and that's telling truths. I'm sorry that you're so sensitive to the truth. But according also to Lafayette, when you tell the truth about something and you see it for exactly what it is it and it makes it go away. So that's what I'm hoping for.
Hey, as long as the more people we can get kicked out, whether it's the TikTokers doing it, I would love to hear that, because they're going to Gold Base. I would love to hear that they saw my dad. I would love that. And then the next time, when we go down there, then we go to Gold, and we, like Elysia needs to do, every building will have the bird, because that's a tradition that she had started.
That's my signature move, guys.
That's her signature move. I just want to, to be honest, I would love throwing my dad over my shoulder and being like, it's okay, I'm tone 40.
I think we should. I mean, and the thing about it is, for you, it's personal to get your dad out. And I 100%, I hope that we can. I really hope that we can get your dad out of there and
Me
back
too.
in your life and back to you. In terms of like other people have talked about, well, like, fuck the people that are in there. They made a choice. They're adults. I also can see that perspective, like
So
they're, and we get that, because at one point I was that person sitting there like, I'm saving the world, and, and we all, I felt that in my bones.
Yes, I did.
That I was saving the universe, and that my friends from high school and my cousins and everybody, like, I was just like, it's okay. I'm saving even you, that you think I'm crazy. That's okay. I got you. I love you. I'm working even harder now. Like, I was more dedicated. The more people were like, Nora, honey, this is a cult. Like, I gotta work harder.
Just gonna knock on that door and be like, knock, knock,
to get you to understand what I'm doing. And so the impact that these TikTokers have had, like showing people their former life, showing people what they looked like prior to the cult, telling that kid, I guess his real name is Andrew, they call him Lurch because he's so tall, like that his nanny was reaching out, like seeing the look on his face when he heard that. Those are the things that always had a huge impact on me. Like when I would have the brief times when I would get an LOA and go to see my family, and then they would like get inside my heart and my brain and be like, where did you go? We missed you. Like, and
people would
start
vanish.
thinking about those things. And those are the things that are the most impactful. When you know that people are really out there that love you and miss you 100%. It's not the making fun of you and all that stuff. Hi, Lara.
LA is waiting for us.
Yeah. Let's go.
Listen, guys, if you want to get us to LA, the four of us would love to go. Our Venmos and PayPals have been flying by, thanks to Retired Red, who's been popping them up there. And I think Alicia's been putting them there too.
Popping them up here. So you'll see them here. Just in case you need them a little bigger.
Just want to make it very clear, though. Do not send me any money towards going to LA.
Do not send Jeff any money.
Do not send me any. If you guys want
He
to
will
send
be at an
anything for
undisclosed location at an undisclosed time. Sorpresa.
Right? Don't mess with
I
this
would
schedule.
love for all you three to have your travel expenses taken care of.
Yeah, because
come
that's
February
our
when we
plan.
decide to go.
We're gonna work it together so that way we know exactly how
We're-
much it is for
We're
the
traveling
three of
in
us.
a group, guys.
We're
It's
packed.
a group setting.
We're gonna kick it down. We're
You gonna
gonna
come and pick me up in Canada?
Yeah. We'll
Yes.
just- we'll
Okay.
Now that
swing-
we know that
Drive-by.
you're right by
we'll
Nora.
swing the Gulf Stream right up.
Nora,
I mean,
where
literally,
are you?
I could drive to Vancouver and get Jeff, and then we could fly out of PDX together. We
Are
could
you in
just,
Portland?
yeah.
Okay, cool.
I'm gonna have to come visit you. Now I have 2 people to come visit in Canada.
Well, I have lots of reasons to come down to the States. I mean, there's lots of orgs between here
Yeah.
and there, and those orgs seem to be not doing very well, but
No.
maybe we
Isn't
could come
CC
and go and
Portland
say hi.
closed?
Yeah.
Didn't CC Portland close?
CC Portland closed officially, but the Portland org is still open. So yeah, it's a disaster. It's a complete joke. But Liz Gale and I are still trying to because Liz Gale, other Liz, Oregon Liz, as like because when I talk about Liz's, I have to specify to my wife which Liz I'm talking about. I'm like Oregon Liz, not California Liz. She lives very close to me here. The Seattle org, Cherry Clifton, is still open. So yeah. Oh, Chow Yan Smut, did you put her comment up?
I'm trying.
We're all gonna die. Who put the girl in charge?
Can you get
right.
sweet deals?
Yeah, she's a travel person,
Advisor?
agent.
Perfect.
I did not. That's right. People were saying she's a travel agent because that's why she was doing the cruise.
Right. Yeah. She's putting the cruise together.
Yes.
Yeah. So for sure. Somebody said they need my Venmo. Did you put them up there? There you go. That's me.
Yeah.
Yep. That's the amazing Nora's
my
Venmo. Mine has been popping
and...
up in the chat. Here, let me see if do I have mine? I don't have my Venmo in the chat or in the banner.
Girl.
Listen here, I spent all that time getting yours ready. Okay.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
Appreciate.
William Simons, what do you know about Big Blue Security, Otto, Hubert, and a guy named Jackson? Anyone know? They put a false report on a TikTok guy, Chris without a Hellcat. I know that Otto is he's kind of a poopity doopity dickhead. I don't know which Jackson this is.
Yeah, I'm not sure the Jackson, but Otto, yes.
Yeah, Otto is legendary dick.
It's just a legendary dick.
Yeah, it
happens all the time. It's a real dick.
He's just, I mean, he's perfect in security. Let's just put it that way. There's a certain type of total, like, if you could picture like those guys, the Bajumba bro douches in your town that get like a fucking really stupid Chevy, and then they get enormous tires and lift it way up.
Oh, with
and
those
then they got
dangling
like
balls on the back?
Yes.
Yeah.
And they got the steel balls.
Really loud.
And then they get out of their car and they're like 4 foot tall. Otto's that, except for he's naturally tall, but he's that in a tall body. Just yeah.
So he's LD. He's
that's how all security security guys I think are asked like a question, or they have to pick like their ideal car. It's either that or a really lame like Charger, Merca.
Oh yeah.
No, it's about the Bronco.
The Bronco.
Stupid blue Bronco.
Yeah. Yeah.
James Richardson drives a blue Bronco. So if you were
I'm telling you, I still think it was him driving around those TikTokers the other night, yelling the N-word at them and throwing fucking cheap ass wannabe Sharpies.
Yeah, I
still think
can
it was
see
him
that because he's just
in the busted ass Beamer.
Brutal.
That's just the type of soul he is, and he's just
what a winner.
He's the winner. Please, rice and beans for dinner.
Yeah. Right. No, don't get me started on James. He still owes me money for Taco Bell. You still fucking owe me money for Taco Bell, James. Not as much money as Quinn Toffer owes every single person in the Sea Org. Wow. That guy, talk about somebody who should start a GoFundMe to pay people back. Quintoffer.
So
Does he
should
owe
we
you
go to,
money, Liz?
if we go to LA, should we eat Taco Bell in front of there just as a little ode to a fuck you? Like little, yeah.
Okay, Nora, you've got a favorite restaurant I've heard in LA. I've got
Well,
a favorite restaurant. I call
it's
it
not-
Fabuloso's, but it's Fabulous.
It's not, well, first of all, my favorite thing when we were in the Sierra to eat was that little burrito shack. Do you remember that burrito shack that was over on Vermont? It was a
No, my
literal
favorite was
shack
Tommy
in the,
Burger.
in the fuck Tommy Burger and the diarrhea chili they put on shit.
Well,
No.
considering we were barely eating, there wasn't a lot to do, and it hurt my stomach. So,
Yeah.
Tommy Burger to the rescue.
It hurt her stomach, but it nourished her soul.
Right. I mean, but the standards were not, they were down here. Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles is amaze.
Amazing. Yeah.
But
Super.
I thought my favorite place, and it was close to where I last lived, is a tiny place called the Boathouse at Hendry's Beach. It is chez Francais. There's a private beach that you can walk on after. It does not cost money to walk on the beach, but brunch is there to die. It's not in Los Angeles. We would have to drive. It's in between Malibu and Santa Barbara.
Okay, that's not bad. That's not a far drive. You're making it sound like we're driving
the best.
to Tijuana to get some jumping beans.
Girl, I'm telling you right now, this place, I have a hat. I should have worn my Boathouse hat tonight.
Oh.
That's how much I love it. I have a hat from there because it is, I want to, if we are all there at the same time,
Exactly.
I'm going to make Serge take us out to breakfast at there with Michael. So,
Okay.
Serge, if you're in the chat still, yes, we're going.
Yes.
There's a
out.
Shake
Yes,
Shack
Serge.
3 blocks away from the Guarantee building there. That's
Which
what I
one?
want. Shake
The
Shack.
Shake Shack.
Oh, I have one
Shake
of
Shack
those
is
here.
good.
Well, I don't have those
near
in Canada.
You don't have
so
Shake Shack yet? Oh,
No.
Vancouver. Vancouver. Come on now. Shake Shack.
best
Get
burger
her
ever.
done.
Hey, I gotta bounce because
I know,
my
I gotta
dog
go too.
needs
We do
somebody.
too.
Yes.
I told my wife
he's
I was
letting
going to
me
be
know.
done earlier, but I'm having fun.
I am having a blast. If you
This is
are
fun.
able, don't forget to subscribe to the amazing PTS for Life, Degraded Daughters, and the Oh No Nora. And if you are able to help us in the mission of getting down there or completing that cycle of action, yes, we'll all do it right there.
SP brunch. Yes.
Laura,
SPTV
we're going to the
brunch.
Boathouse.
Yes, Lara,
Mhm.
you're joining us no matter what. We got to
Yes.
figure it out, even if we're throwing you over a shoulder. So I do want to say, here's the amazing Oh No Nora's stuff. I'm gonna pop Alicia's up one more time, but if you have a
Please.
chance,
Jealous of your
please
hearts.
hit subscribe.
You spelled my name wrong, baby. It's okay though. It's Elysia. Oh, Nora.
Well, I thought I was being smart
Whoa.
about it. Never mind, I'll take that off.
Whoa,
Nora.
Nora's got all kinds of party going on.
You're tripping me
I
out.
know.
So you gotta do
Um,
all the things.
Well,
Hey,
thank you
Liz.
so very. Yes,
Thanks for getting us all together.
This was fun.
absolutely. We just needed, everybody else to join us for some fun and have some excitement. And I'm so glad I finally got to talk to you again. Like talking to you is fun.
Always.
And now I know that, your wife knows how to tap dance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And our
We'll do,
relationships have all succeeded.
maybe, oh, I know. We could do like Singing in the Rain with little Davy and her.
There you go.
Yes, that would be hilarious.
Good. That would be good.
hilarious.
That would be.
That would be
I
good.
would absolutely watch that because that is
Yeah.
hilarious.
Same.
So thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining me. And until we meet again, please race us to the comments. Say something in the comments. It does help the algorithm. So
Say
thank
hi.
you so much. Talk to you guys soon.